A very good evening and a very warm welcome to Buddhist Mahavira's Facebook page here at the Dhammadana series. Now, this Friday, we have with us a very learned speaker, and we are actually very grateful to this speaker for accepting this invitation, our invitation to speak this Friday and also the following Friday. And that's because we had another speaker lined up, but that speaker has got another appointment on these 2 days, and so we had to scramble to look for a volunteer to a speaker to help us fill the gap. And we're very fortunate that we found Bhante Jinananda, of course, friend of the Buddhist Mahavihara, to help us to fill the two slots. So we have with us Bhante Jinananda from Canada, who is in Ottawa at the moment. And let me bring Bhante onto the screen. Good morning, Bhante.
Good evening. Good
Yes, good evening and good morning to you. Thank you for joining us this morning from Ottawa. And let me, for those of you who are not familiar with Bhante Jinananda, let me quickly read his profile so you get a better understanding of who Bhante is. Bhante N. Jinananda Thero is a Sri Lankan Buddhist monk who is currently the chief incumbent monk of the Hilda Jayawardena Ramaya Buddhist Monastery and Meditation Center based in Ottawa, Canada. Bhante has a postgraduate diploma in Buddhist studies from the University of Kelaniya and also a Bachelor of Education degree from the University of Colombo and a Masters of Arts from the Wilfrid Laurier University in Canada. Bhante Jinananda is also the Director and Vice President of the Buddhist Congress of Canada, and Venerable also conducts Samatha and Vipassana meditation retreats and has given many Dhamma sermons in various parts of the world. He has also provided counseling and spiritual guidance to various Buddhist communities in Canada. So, with that, I would like to now invite Bhante Jinananda to start this evening's Dhamma sharing. Bhante?
Okay, thank you. So let's start the Dhamma sermon by paying homage to the Buddha. Let me recite the homage to the Buddha in Pali and also in English. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Fully Enlightened One. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Fully Enlightened One. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Fully Enlightened One. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Venerable members of Mahasangha, dear friends in Dhamma, thank you, Tilak, for inviting me to conduct this Dhamma sermon today. On behalf of each and every individuals in this program, I pay my homage to the Mahasangha at the Buddhist Mahavihara, and I thank Tilak and all the members who organized this wonderful Dhamma sermon. Dear friends, listening to the Buddha's teaching is a blessing and is a very good thing for our life. As we have been connecting with Buddhist Mahavihara, you know what exactly the Dhamma means. Listening to the Dhamma brings us joy because we are able to clear our mind about various things. When we live in this society with many things, it is easily getting into troubles and issues and problems and stressful situation. If we know the Dhamma, we are to solve these problems with the support of Mahasangha and also Kalyana Mittas in association. Therefore, having a Dhamma sermon once a while, maybe once a week or twice a week, is a blessing to us. In this regard, I hope you are really hopeful to learn the Dhamma today in this particular sermon and enrich your life. Let me speak about the topics that I have today for this sermon. As you know, it is the art of self-transformation. The art of self-transformation, that very title, brings you a lot of ideas into your mind, because this topic is very relevant to what we have been doing in our life. Before I go into the Dhamma sermon based on the topic, I just want to tell you that this topic is being discussed in this sermon based on a very important, very nice suttas from the Buddha. It is Vitakka Santana Sutta, removing distracting thought in translation, and it is recorded in the Middle End Discourses of the Buddha. The Sutta number is 20 of the Middle End Discourses. Friends, the listening to the Dhamma is really, really important. Why? As I said, it provides us so much joy and happiness. Let me explain you the importance of Dhamma into our life based on some very salient Dhamma points from the Buddha. This way we can transform ourselves into a peaceful state of life, because we are talking about the art of self-transformation. The Buddha is such a wonderful person in many ways. One of them is that he did not keep authority of the Dhamma, though he understood it himself. He delivered it to people and made the society called Sangha, especially with monks and nuns, to provide people to embrace it fully and attain enlightenment, ending suffering. Therefore, the Buddha's compassion for us with particular sermon like this is enormous, and that's why we respect the Buddha. The first thing we all should have is the respect for the Buddha. And next, the Dhamma. We all know the fact that Dhamma is a word given to what the Buddha said, but with that word we can include each and every phenomena in our life. So the Dhamma is a guideline for us. Dhamma teaches us how to regulate our life. Dhamma teaches us how to understand ourselves. Therefore, we should have faith, what we call Shraddha, at the very beginning of any sermons like this, in order to benefit from it. You may have questions during the sermon. You may have concern and disagreement, agreement, and everything during the sermon. But very important thing you need to keep in mind is that this sermon is something about the Buddha's teaching. Therefore, I try my best to listen to the points of Dhamma and evaluate and analyze in your own. That is how the self-transformation is being done during a sermon. In one of the discourses called Kitagiri Sutta of the Majjhima Nikaya, the Buddha clearly mentioned that if somebody wants to end up the training with the self-enlightenment, arahantship, he or she has to start the training gradually. So this is a gradual training, gradual action, and gradual practice is being talked about in that particular discourse. How do we make this gradual training happens in our life? Especially when we listen to a Dhamma sermon like this, how could we make this happen? Let me tell you the way you need to listen to a Dhamma, and at the same time embrace the Dhamma as it should be. According to the Buddha in the Kitagiri Sutta, he mentioned that those who have this idea that I need to end suffering, I need to finish this vicious cycle of suffering, he or she are looking for someone who can explain the truth of life. Therefore, he should have faith, shraddha, the confidence on the teacher. First, he or she should look for a better one who can explain, and then he should have shraddha, the kind of inclined thoughts towards the person who is going to listen, and also the things he is going to listen. Therefore, he gives ears and attend to what he listened, and then slowly, step by step, when the facts are coming related to our life, and there is a mixture of all kinds of beautiful things, therefore you agree to those points with faith and shraddha, and then you are going to see how these guideline principles of the Buddha's teaching are applicable to my experience in life. Therefore, you are going to bring joy and happiness. As a result of this joy and happiness, you feel that your mind is settled and attain one pointedness. Therefore, the capacity of your mind expand further, which means that you can really investigate into impermanence and unsatisfactoriness of this life, and find a very peaceful state of mind where you can break through those unwholesome defilement. So as a result, you would be able to attain Sotapanna stream level, and then other stages of enlightenment during the sermon. Therefore, friends, it is very important for us to listen to the Dhamma with right attitude and also attention. So, friends, Vitakka Santana Sutta is the basis for my sermon today, the art of self-transformation. How beautiful this title is, the art of self-transformation. Isn't this right according to the Buddha's teaching? Are we to transform ourselves without anyone help, support, guidelines, instruction? Actually, friends, the Buddha has explained the Dhamma in a beautiful way. According to the verse, we have Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Sandittiko Akaliko and so on. It is said that the Dhamma is well said or explained by the Buddha. It is visible, directly visible, and unaffected by time, and so on. So, therefore, we can take it and do our transformation from unwholesomeness to wholesomeness, from bad to good, from good to the best. So the transformation within is done by alone, depending on the skills of the individual, though the Buddha has given instructions to you. Perhaps your teacher, perhaps your close friends as Kalyana Mitra helped you, but the transformation is there always, because the individual is trying himself or herself to make her way to peace and happiness. So when we talk about self-transformation, the art of self-transformation, we have mundane transformation, self-transformation. A lot of people think that they want to change their house into beautiful one, so they renovate it. The old kitchen is removed and a new setup is there, and you buy furniture to transform your interior outlook. Perhaps you sell the old car and buy a new car. Sometimes you go to shopping mall and select new clothes, new style. So this is also a transformation. So you try your best to change your outlook, the way you live, the material you use, just to feel good, just to feel that you are with the current movements in the society. But it is a material transformation, right? It doesn't make any sense with the merits and skillfulness with regard to the attaining to enlightenment and peace and happiness. So what we are talking about based on the Buddha's teaching is the self-transformation from unwholesomeness to unwholesomeness, from akusala to kusala, from bad, negative emotions to self-directed, wholesome attitudes, behaviors. This is what we are talking about. Isn't it important for us? Of course, yes. Especially during this pandemic, which started last year, we have been facing a lot of challenges. People call these as challenges because that is how they, lived before. They lived, leaving their mind open to anything they see, they hear, and they taste, and so forth. Therefore, when the pandemic started, we had to restrict it to minimum things. So some people who do not know the Dhamma started thinking that, oh, this is terrible, this is killing us, and we have no life, and they feel frustration and stress. But at the same time, wise people always incline in to find peaceful behaviors and attitudes to make their life more meaningful. As you know, you also join with the Mahavihara to listen to Dhamma more than ever. So you make your way of listening to Dhamma from in person to virtual. Instead of going to temple, the Vihara, you were able to listen more Dhamma, listen to many teachers virtually. So as wise people, we were able to embrace the Dhamma more and more to make our life happy and peaceful. That is a self-transformation. But what we are going to focus in this discourse from right now is very, very important. Friends, Vitaka Santana Sutta, by its name, is called removing distracting thoughts. It is what we expect from the Buddha's teaching. If we do not have any distracting thoughts such as anger, ill will, then frustration, disappointment, sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief, and there are many, we do not need the Buddha's teaching. If we feel happy always, and if things happen according to our wishes always, there is no necessity for us to embrace the Buddha's teaching and follow it day by day. We don't need sila. We don't need practices like giving alms to monks and helping poor people, and charitable works are not important for us. But we know that our mind is not in our control, and so the body. Nothing outside of this body and mind is in our control. They are in state of flux, always changing. So therefore, removing distracting thoughts is really, really important for each and everyone. If you look at the entire world, those who follow any religion, including Buddhism, they know that this life is not perfect. Some people think that this is created by a super powerful God, and he has left us something to do because this life is imperfectly created. So we need to follow some rules and regulation because this life is imperfect. That is how theistic religion talk about it. But we are different from that. We know that how we came to this world and what kind of karma help us reborn like this and stay like this. And we know what we have, what we do in the future, and what happened to us in this life at the end of this life. Therefore, we have a sense of what is this life. Therefore, we know that the truth of this life is suffering, unsatisfactoriness. We know that there is a type of happiness, but it is constantly changing. Therefore, we feel more distracting experiences than happiness. One day, one of my friends talked to me that, Bhante, I am 45 years old now, and I cannot remember a single day that I did not have, suffering. Each and every day, I experience some sort of problems and stressful situation. I cannot remember any day that I completely enjoy my life with peace and happiness. So even if this story is not relevant to you, it has 70% of truth with regard to your life. You have experienced frustration, suffering, and distressful situation in your life. I know that this life could be developed, not the body but the mind, into a peaceful state, but that this is the true nature. Therefore, the Vistaka Santana Sutta, by removing distracting thought, is really important for us. When the Buddha was at the Jetvanarami monastery, he uttered this wonderful sermon to a group of monks, and he said in the at the beginning of the discourse, like this, that when monks, when you feel your mind is going towards greed, hatred, and ignorance. In other words, if you feel that the greed, hatred, and ignorance are arisen in your mind, these are the things you need to do in order to secure your peaceful state. So Buddha has clearly mentioned 5 methods in this Vitakka Santana Sutta to overcome the greed, hatred, and ignorance, and also related unwholesome, egoistic mental attitudes. Let's study these 5 methods and try our best to empty our mind from all these distracting thoughts. The first one is Anyang Nimittang Manasikatabang. Sorry to say that I use these Pali terms because that's how we learn the suttas in Pali. Perhaps you are familiar with them, but if you are not familiar, just be mindful that Bhante is using 1 or 2 Pali words. So, Anya Nimittang Manasikatabang. Suppose you are living your life, you see things from your eyes, and you hear, you smell, taste, and you feel, you cognize. This is called living. When you live your life, no matter what you do, no matter which posture you are in, wherever you are, you use your senses to live. Using these senses and the cognitive part of it is called living. When you live your life like this, you happen to experience good and bad things, right? Suppose you get out of the house and started walking for exercise. You see your age people and elderly people, young people, and you see the heavy, traffic jam on the road, and you see big skyscrapers and buildings too, and you see flowers, trees, birds, animals. So when we see these stuff and hear what exactly we create in our mind, we divide our mind into 3. First 2 levels, and then we have subcategories. But what are the first 2 categories? Either we like them or we dislike them. If we like them, we create the thought of sensual pleasures. We like them. We like the sound. We like the pictures. We like the people. We like the cars. We like the flowers. So you are going to like those stuff you hear and say, and so on. And not only that, you create the thought of ill will as a part of liking to something else. When you say that we like something else, it means that you don't like something else too. Suppose I like the blue color, maybe I don't like yellow color. So that duality is always in this world, in our perception. So when you create greed, craving by seeing, hearing, tasting, and smelling, On the other side, you have created aversion, you have created ill will. So then ignorance also coming into play with your seeing, hearing, and tasting. So basically, this is what normally people do when they absorb things through their six senses. The other side also is discussed that you create negative feelings and also bad feeling. And instead of creating negative feeling, negative emotions like greed, hatred, and ignorance, the wise individual are very keen to have the thought of renunciation, nekkhamma sankappa, instead of having a grudging feeling, attachment. You of course understand this is not something I should hang on to. They are impermanent, therefore I do not attach to them. So this is how some people think. Therefore they don't have that anger, irritation. Therefore their mind is awakened to what is happening. So I clearly mentioned that there are two sides that we create by seeing, seeing, hearing, tasting, basically living. One is positive, one is negative. So this is how the world moves forward at all time, no matter which posture we have, no matter which country we live, no matter which language we talk about, no matter which religion we follow. This is the normal pattern. Therefore, Buddha asked this group of monks, this is the nature of the world. So when you happen to experience something from sight, smell, and sounds, taste, smelling, and even thinking, if they allow you to create greedy mind, hate mind, and ignorant mind, there you need to have anya nimittang manasikatabbang. Nimitta means the object, the things you create in your mind. So if the object you absorb is creating greed, hatred, and ignorance or related thoughts, anya nimittang manasikatabbang, just replace your thought to something else. In this Vitakka Santana Sutta, to have the self-transformation, we have 5 important factors. The first one is replacing thoughts. Remember, the first one is replacing thoughts. If you have a negative mindset with seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling, touching, and thinking, just replace the total opposite of it. For example, I say a beautiful, uniform. I say a beautiful clothes, a shirt or trouser or sari or gown or whatever. So I have so many, things to wear at my closet, but at the same time, I create greed for this. So it is not peaceful now because I don't have money in my pocket, but I need to buy it. As an individual who follows the Buddha's teaching in order to make a type of peaceful state, the thing you need to there is to think about, okay, I do not need this because I have so many at home. Why should I have many collections like this? Because I'm wearing clothes just to cover my body from heat and cold, and to cover my body because I'm a morally good person. So I have enough clothes. So just think about the total opposite of greedy mind, and that is the very thing we need to apply to transform ourselves from unwholesomeness to wholesomeness. Since this is for a group of bhikkhu, so Buddha asked these monks to self-discipline. So they are not allowed to go outside and enjoy like lay people. They go to the village or the town just only for food. During the daytime and nighttime, they have, of course, do not enjoy their senses intentionally. But even if they see something like thought provocative towards lust, hatred, and ignorance, Buddha asks us to them replace another thought that helps them overcome greed, hatred, and ignorance. That is the first one. So replacing thoughts. Suppose you are in the transit or in the bus or you drive yourself on the road. So you happen to see something negative, something create uh, unwholesomeness. In the Sabbasava Sutta, the second discourse in the middle end discourses of the Buddha talks about Yoniso Manasikara. There are a couple of English translation: appropriate attention, wise attention, peaceful attention. So Yoniso Manasikara means you attend to it appropriately. So you see something negative, but as soon as you think that this is impermanent. This is not going to work for me for peace and happiness. This is lustful. This is hateful. This lead me to ignorant state. The peace of mind is going to end by having this in mind. Therefore, even though you see something, you just turn it to otherwise. So in the Sabbasava Sutta, Buddha talks about attend to something that brings you joy and happiness, spiritual joy and happiness, not the sensual joy. Attend to something that calm down your mind. In that regard, friends, news in the television, a lot of videos in YouTube, and perhaps you the things you hang on to watch every day would not be supportive for you to bring mental peace and happiness, right? How about if you go to the shrine room where you keep yourself calm and peaceful, and listen to a Dhamma talks? There you feel gradual transformation of your mind from hustle, bustle, busy nature to a peaceful state. But how about if you listen to a news which has violence, protest, and all kinds of boasting, politic talks, and unending global problems? Do you find peace out of knowing these things? If you are a educator, if you are a student, you might find some useful information for your assignment, for your jobs and business. That is something else. But do we find something good for this? Some people might say that, okay, Bhante, we listen to news, we watch dramas, and we go to theater for movies and dramas just because we want to see the other world where ego, hatred, ignorance work. But friends, if you habitually go here and there for these purposes always, do you find enough time to develop your mind on wholesome thoughts? Are you able to bring mindfulness, sati, into action to replace your good thoughts instead of bad thoughts? I don't think so, because we as monks practice the Dhamma throughout our life as monks, and we still find difficulties if we engage with too much social works. We need some time to reflect and see the life as it is. Therefore, we have a type of automatic energy to bring our mindfulness to those situations. Then only we can replace or think otherwise to overcome those negative emotions. As a monk, I experience sometimes busy mind, restless mind, because I engage with different programs with different people. I have a habit to bring mindfulness, at least the fraction of thoughts about the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, and some meditative experiences to overcome that state. But I am doubtful about a lot of people who engage and live in a normal life. How could they bring this sort of mind into replacement? So friends, in order to transform yourself to a peaceful state, the first thing you need to keep in mind that whenever greedy, hateful, ignorant mind come into experience, I change it totally to something else. Suppose you are targeted by a couple of people with abusive words. You are in the middle of street or in the market. Just be kind yourself and those people, and do not go to fight verbally to win over the situation. Protect your peace and mind before something else happen dangerous. Just go away. Suppose you are a husband or a wife or a child or a sibling. So we have arguments and disagreement at home. So then, if you feel that this argument is not going to work and help create greed, hatred, and ignorance, just be away from them and try to replace positive thoughts. If you cannot talk nicely and up to the point, just be silent. So these are some of the methods that we can apply to keep our good self or to transform ourselves into a more peaceful state. The second, I should go to the second one, which is important. So that is, even if you try the first one, what is the first one? You try to think something else, or thought replacement. You are trying your best to replace your thoughts when greed, hatred, and ignorance come into existence. It does not work sometimes. If it is not working, then we take the second point into application. What is the second point? We should not mind them. We should disregard them. Asati amanasikara. Right? Suppose a thought come to our mind and it disturb us. For example, we had an argument the other day about something very important to us in the office or at home. So today it comes to my mind, it's come to our mind over and over again. So even we try to replace good thoughts, it does not work. Therefore, you have to asati amanasikara, just disregard it. Oh, it happens yesterday. Today is a new day, and I'm in a new situation. It happened because of lack of physical and mental peace and happiness. I was totally unmindful yesterday, that's why it's happened. But today is a new day, I'm new now. So I understand this situation that happened yesterday. So you try your best to disregard it, either by forgetting it or just applying some sort of other methods. So the Buddha explained to this group of monks, they are meditators, they are real meditators. Suppose monks, if you have disturbing thoughts always coming into your mind, just disregard it as only a thought. There was a monk at the time of the Buddha, perhaps you have heard his name, and he's Daruchirya. So he was new to Buddha's teaching, and he met the Buddha at once. During that first and last meeting, he told the Buddha that I do not know whether I live until you go on Pindapath around and come and explain me. So please explain me the Dhamma. Because Daruchirya was near the Buddha before the Buddha started his visit to the city for Pindapata, for food. Then what the Buddha said is simple but very profound. What the Buddha said? When you see something, just keep in mind that it is only a scene. You do not, details of what you see, just keep your mind in the original state that I am having only a scene. When you hear something, it is only hearing. It is only a sound. And when you feel something, it is only a feeling. When you cognize something, it is only a thought. So there you have a lot of things that is helpful. So we are talking about the second point of Vitakka Santana Sutta for self-transformation. What is that? Asati amanisikara, forgetting, not paying attention to it. Right? So, as a result, you that thought process that disturbing you is slowly eroding, going away from your mind. So, as a result of this forgetting the incident or the bad memory, your mind becomes serene again and come to a point where you feel joy and happiness, and it is a close call for samadhi. So Buddha talks about for these monks that if you replace thoughts, as in the first point, uh, instead of keeping your mind on greed, hatred, and ignorance, you bring samadhi into application. So without taking a meditation subject for 1 hour, 2 hour, and so forth, Buddha asks us to learn how to bring samadhi in this formation, right? A lot of people think that samadhi is achieved when only sit and meditate. No, friends. If you are able to apply good thoughts when bad thoughts, are arising, it is a moment that you experience the quality of samadhi in your mind. It may not be able to, it may not be helpful to bring jhanic experiences one after the other in full form, but you have the quality of samadhi there because you replace good thoughts. Now, when you forget the bad incident and happenings and things like that, you of course bring your true and beautiful nature of your mind. There you feel samadhi. The very idea of applying these 2 methods so far we discussed is to bring samadhi into the application. Samadhi is one pointedness. If you have samadhi, these are the things you feel. Your mind doesn't go anywhere except what you want to think. You are not disturbed by any external things because your mind has settled down. You have a physical and mental tranquility. No pressure, no bodily pressure or mental pressure is there. Even if people cry for something else, you are not in that state because your mind has settled down. If you have any sort of these feelings, understanding, be happy because you are in samadhi. Okay, so that is the second one. Actually, the third one is coming as the second one too. You apply replacing thoughts. When you have negative feeling, you replace good thoughts. And if it is not working, you just try to forget or disregard that very disturbing feeling. So it works. But when the Buddha said that if the second type of self transformation is not working, what you can do next? It is, friends, thinking about the disadvantage of having those negative feelings, negative thoughts in your mind. This is very interesting. The Pali word is for this. Keeping bad thoughts, adinava upaparikitabang, keeping negative thoughts is really dangerous. Therefore, you have to get rid of it. You have to take it out. It is just like you sick now. And when you sick, you feel pain, no peace at all. So you want to take medicine and overcome the difficult pain. That is the usual way when we do when we are sick. Like that, when you have anger, when you have irritating feeling, when you are upset, when you are morally and spiritually derailed, it does not bring you peace, but it is so upset. It is so unpleasant, right? So when this is not the first time you experience this. Therefore, we all know that unpleasant experiences are really negative. and it is making us more stressful. Therefore, when anger, hatred, ignorance, ill will, impatience, stressful situation come into experience, just immediately think about the danger of having this in my mind. If I am going to live with anger for today, for tomorrow, it goes on and on to next week as well, and your attitude, peaceful attitude, slowly change to a negative attitudes. One of my friends told me a beautiful story, and this story is from the village folk, but it is very applicable to each and every individual. There were husband and wife. They were peaceful naturally, and but this husband is a very famous guy in the village because of his property, because of his education, and the government has given a title for him to help the villagers because he is the most educated person in the village. So he actually have conceit man in front of other people, and his voice is commanding type voice. Therefore, he always would like to see others respect him and others below his level. So one day he went out for some matters and came in, returned home, and when he returned home, he saw some chairs upside down in the veranda of his house. Now his wife is there, and his children is at home, and nobody had attended to make the veranda in order. So he saw the two chairs upside down. Then, with the same attitude that he showed for villagers, he loudly called his wife and asked why this happened. I am a renowned person in this village, and this place where people see always should be in order. Why can't you do this? What happened? Then the wife was in the kitchen area, some way behind that veranda, and he loudly said that, okay, we don't know what happened, it may be the wind, so can you uh, make it proper, or make it nice, and keeping the chairs in right place. Then this man said to his wife that, I came from a very important task and I'm so and so. It is not my duty, and you come and do it. You are at home just only cooking and doing all kinds of housework. It is your duty. Then the wife was also very busy with cooking and other things. He said that, why can't you do it? You don't do anything at home, and do it for me. Then husband is again arguing about his prestige, and said that it is not his responsibility. So this argument went on and on until husband and wife have physical abuse as well. So the story my friend told me that ended up nearly divorce. So this is a real story, and this could happen to many people in today's world too. So friends, what I wanted to bring you the message that irritating feeling at the very beginning is nothing. It's a very small thing. When the husband told the wife that this is not in proper order, what would happen? Then she said that it happened for no reason. Maybe the wind did it. So if husband was able to turn the chair, to the proper order and keep them in right place, there won't be any chance for any problems. But what happened there? We let our anger work. Both husband and wife did not think about the danger of enjoying their anger. They never thought about self, peace and happiness between relationship. They let negative thoughts activated and function as it is. Therefore, the peace at home ended, and they were put themselves into a deep troubles. This is a story, friends, to think that if you are able to see the danger of negative emotion, you immediately remove them. So Buddha says in the third factor for us out of 5, just take it out. Do not enjoy it. Do not keep them in mind, because they are destroying not only that moment, that peaceful moment, but it kills all kinds of good attitudes. So as a meditator, as an individual who follow the moral principles and live day-to-day life, you too should be mindful to avoid, to overcome, to abandon negative emotion as soon as they arise. We cannot do anything sometime, because anger could arise, frustration, ill will. It's okay. We are still in a training period. But the thing you need to do is to take them out immediately. If you live with them, the harm could be more and more. So that is the third one. I quickly go to the fourth one. Fourth one is one should attend to the stilling of the thought formation. Suppose you apply the third one, you see the danger and you try to avoid it ahead of its full activation, but it does not working. Then what we need to do? We have to still that thought formation. Vitakka sankara santanang manasikātabba. It means that we freeze that negative mental state and let work accordingly. In other words, suppose you feel anger, you feel jealousy, frustration, in a stressful situation. So you try all kinds of method we explain. You try to replace good thoughts, it did not work, and you try to think the danger, it did not work, and you try to forget it, it also did not work. Now the next thing you can do is stilling the thought formation. The very anger should be put an full stop. Very anger you have is overcome by the strength. This is the example the Buddha give in the discourse. Suppose you walk for exercise, and immediately you thought that why should I walk? I should stand up and sit down. And when you sit down for a while, and if your mind is not peaceful, so you start lying down. So then you feel joy. So you change your physical posture in order to overcome negative feelings. Right? Suppose you have a verbal fight with your partner in the kitchen area or in the bedroom. So if you are a wise individual, there you go to the washroom and close the door. You stay there until yourself settle down, and also the other party. Because if you give some time period, our mind cannot keep those negative emotions all the time. Because friends, negative emotions are also impermanent. They are not permanent state of our mind. Like the positive qualities change, negative emotions also change. So you can change the place you originate the problem, physical. This is a physical change, and find another place. Suppose you don't feel joy at home, so go to the veranda area, or just go to the garden and touch the flowers, and go to the temple and participate in a Dhamma talk and meditation. So you will be refreshed by this physical change. So that's how we still our thought formation. If you apply the previous methods and they are not working, so just do this. So this is the fourth one. For example, if monks feel not joy at all during their meditation in sitting posture, just got up from the sitting posture and started walking. During walking meditation, they find joy. If that is not working, just go and help an elderly monk. So go to people and talk to them about the importance of sila and samadhi, and go on for cleaning the ground, and just look at the monastery and its administration help administrative works. So monks are taught various methods to still in their mind. It's a kind of thought reduction actually. So that is the fourth one. We come to the last one, that is the last one. If those four methods are not working to transform your mind from unwholesomeness to wholesomeness, from akusala to kusala, apply the last one. What is the last one? According to the sutta, Dante Dantamadai, which means you should cleanse your teeth and tongue, pressing the palate. It means if the negative mental energy is so severe and tough, terrible, you cleanse your teeth like this and press your tongue to the palate and try your best to bear the pain. We have done this many times in our life. Sometimes the anger is too much, frustration, suffering is too much. So we bear that pain by physical energy, right? With us, for example, if you are a monk or a nun or a meditator, so you feel anger, you feel pain in your body during the meditation. So you try your best to make that moment peaceful by pressing your body, tightening your muscles, cleansing your teeth, and use your all kinds of physical energy to overcome that negative mental state. That is the last one. So in this sutta, Buddha talks about these 5 methods to self-transformation. So I can add many things with regard to various self-transformation, but with regard to Vitakka Santana Sutta, these are the 5 things. For your easy remember, I would summarize. The first one is thought replacement. Friends, no matter where you are, if you feel anger, if you feel stress, sensual pleasure, which is giving you attachment, or if you feel that you are ignorance, avidya is there, just replace your thoughts, because these anger, frustration, sensual pleasures and ignorance come into being because of what you experience. So you need to experience something else. If you see a bad picture and have anger, so don't look at it. Look something that brings compassion and loving kindness. So the first one is thought replacement. The second one is asati amanisikara. Actually, that is the third one, but I like to take it as the second one because it is very important. Disregarding the thought. So suppose you apply the first one and it does not work. Now disregard the seeing you have, the hearing you have, and disregard the whole picture, whole scenario. And if it is not working, the third one is thinking about the danger. It is called aversion therapy, removing negative thoughts immediately and by thinking about the danger, adina, right? Do not let your mind stay with this negative emotion for longer, because it's just like poison. So that is the third one. If that is not working, what else we can do? The fourth one is, stilling your thought process. uh, you know you would be able to change your place of stay when you have anger, irritation, frustration, ignorance, and do something else. I told you that if you are a meditator, so now meditation doesn't work, therefore you stand up and do something peaceful like walking meditation, or clean the kitchen, the bathroom, wash clothes mindfully, and then you will be refreshed again to keep your mind in the proper mindset. So uh, uh, stilling your thought process is like that. So if that is not working either, we go to the last one. You do not go anywhere else, but stay in the in the place you got those negative problems, and from then and there you try your best by clenching your teeth and pressing your tongue to the palate, and try your best to get your physical and mental energy together to overcome negative emotions. So when the Buddha explained these 5 methods for the group of monks about their transformation from unwholesomeness to wholesomeness, monks were so satisfied, because it's a great relief for them. Because as monks, we experience those negative emotions when we try to pull them out. There we should have these methods, not only one method, couple of methods, because we have different characters. Friends, we talk about 6 types of characters in Buddhism. Raga Charita. Some characters are lustful characters. They always like, pleasant seeing, hearing, tasting. They always need everything perfect. They are called Raga Charita, lustful character. They are spirit of living is to have everything perfect. Therefore, they get a lot of problems because the world is changing. So that is Raga Charita. Then Dosa Charita. Some people are there who get angry with small thing. Their irritation is so rapid and quick, and they get angry, they get upset by minor things. And the third type of character, Moha Charita, ignorant characters. They are so ignorant about minor matters, even small things. They are not easy to advise to because they don't understand. And then Shraddha Charita. Some characters are faithful. They are so friendly and easily approachable, and they tend to actually understand things easily. Uh, uh, they have such behaviors. And the fifth one is Buddhi Charita, which means they have always inquisitive mind. They do not accept things easily. They always question. They always want to know what is going on. Sometimes because of their overthinking, they do not find peace at all either, because they are too much questioning about things. And the last character, Vitaka Charita, they have a kind of daydream. So they always produce thoughts unnecessarily. Sometimes they are necessary. So these are the 6 type of characters. So friends, identify what character you have, and try to apply these 5 methods we explained based on Vitaka Santana Sutta to understand you, and then transform you to a peaceful state. If you are in a peaceful state, this helps again for you to find a better one, because until we attain to at least to the Sotapanna, first stage of enlightenment, we need this. Even Sotapannas need these methods to attain the next level, and which is called Sakadagami, once return, and they also need these methods to attain non-returner level, Anagami, and those people also need this method in a certain way to complete their training as Arahants, the full enlightened being. So friends, as monks and lay people, these 5 methods are really important to transform ourselves from unwholesomeness to wholesomeness. And if you are in a wholesome state with your practice, be mindful that these are really important for you to go further on the noble path and to complete your trade. So now I think I have explained enough based on the discourse. I think you learn 5 methods of self transformation to peace and happiness. And I wish you blessings for you to get this teaching in the name of the Supreme Dhamma and make your way to Nirvana. It is the self transformation in your life. May you all be well, happy, and peaceful. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. If you have any concern and questions, you are to ask. And I think now uh, uh, our good friend Tilak will talk to you.
Yeah,
Uh,
thank you, Bhante. Thank you for the very interesting Dhamma sharing on the Vitakka Santana Sutta. And I think this is a very proactive kind of a sutta where it actually teaches you to physically be involved in your daily practice when you do meditation, especially. We didn't find any questions from the audience, but at least there was one question, Bhante, but it's kind of out of the topic. Would you like to attempt to answer that question, or shall
yes,
we put? Yeah, yeah. It's nothing related to what we are speaking about this evening. Uh,
yeah. The question is: people must realize that it is of great blessings to be able to born as human being and a Buddhist at the same time in this very life. Therefore, we must treasure and cherish this and must not take things for granted that in the future we are we are guaranteed to become human and meet the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. Please come in, Bhante. Thank you. So, yeah, having a human being, having a human life is a great blessings. And Buddha asks us to think about what we have and try to be happy with what we have. When we think about the whole life cycle, not only humans, we must be happy that we are in this state now with all kinds of basic requirements, and we are more towards a peaceful state because we have the you know possibility of learning something great to make our mind great. And So in the future this could happen, this could flow into the future if you continue to have that type of understanding right now about your life, definitely. So in one discourses of the Buddha where he talks to his cousin brother, he said that the cousin brother said that, Bhante, I am a layperson and you renounce the world and attain to Buddhahood. You don't have any problem, but we have as lay people that we live in this society with greed, hatred, and ignorance. A lot of works to do. I am fearful sometimes because if I die on the road by an accident, uh, what could happen to me? Do I, reborn in hell because I'm still with greed, hatred, and ignorance? Then the Buddha said that don't worry about what would happen after this. If you are righteous person right now with the confidence on the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, and also your moral principles. Don't worry about reborning in the animal kingdom or in the hell or in the ghost realm or whatever places where you experience suffering. You will be 99% you will be in human world or in divine world because you secure your life with the confidence on necessary factors. You follow the good principles. You in that Buddha elaborated. You respect your wife, husband, children, your countrymen, and you love the nature. You feel compassion, kindness for you, and also others equally. Therefore, the less greed, hatred, and ignorance is there, and that makes sense that you are reborning as a human being, because in order to be a human being you have mixed karma, and divine being somewhat wholesome karma. So as the explanation said that, yeah, we must be happy about the life right now, because Buddha asks us to live here and now, and then make your whole effort to continue that type of life. Perhaps you don't feel those enlightening state right now. Some people worry about Sotapanna too much, because they say that, Bhante, we practice meditation for so long, we listen to each and every monks from here and there, still we don't feel even Sotapanna. My suggestion for these people, don't worry about the fruition of Sotapanna. Just apply the Dhamma as you feel right now, and check whether your mind is in greed, hatred, and ignorance, or the total opposite. And if your mind is in greed, hatred, and ignorance, just do away with them and be generous, be kind, be mindful right now. So that makes you everything. So, friends, in order to respect the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, Buddha said, Imaya Dhammanudhamma Pativatya Buddham Pujemi. I follow this method of peace and happiness in order to respect the Buddha. That is the best way you worship the Buddha. And I follow these principles in my own, in day-to-day life, and that is the way I venerate the Dhamma. This is the principle that brings joy to me, and by following it I venerate the Sangha. So that is how the Buddha asks us to adhere the Dhamma, live with the Dhamma, and say him. So, friends, you are right, and it is not a question, but it is a thought-provocative statement of someone who understands Dhamma in a proper way. Yeah, we don't have time, friends, in this life to waste. Time is fast, and we don't feel this fast last year since pandemic began, and it's gone. So don't waste your time with various, sensual things. Just be mindful, live this life peacefully, treat others equally, be compassionate, and be kind, and let it flow out with your words and action. That makes you peaceful right now, and you do not want to worry about future, because you are in a safe place. If you do not attain to Sotapanna and make the seal for ending your life cycle, you at least reborn as a great human beings. And if you are in divine world, you will be also as a righteous Kalyanamita deity, which make more merits there. So that is what I can say for that.
Thank you, Bhante. I hope Brother David is satisfied with Bhante's reply to your question. Um, Bhante, there are no more questions, but there are a lot of comments, good comments about your Dhamma sharing this evening.
Okay.
Maybe you can have a look at it later this when you have time on our Facebook page. So we've come to the end of this evening's Dhamma sharing, and before we end, I'd like to invite Bhante to conduct the Anumodana.
Yes, thank you, Tilak, for everything. So today, I stayed with you more than 1 hour with the invitation of our good friends Leslie Tilak, and he is supported by the other individuals who make the Mahavihara a great place for each and everyone. So I'm very happy that I spend the time with you with the Vitaka Santana Sutta to give you some essence to the self transformation. Our topic was the art of self transformation. There are many ways in Buddhism to have transform our life into a peaceful one, but this is one of them. So I think you listen to the Dhamma talks with attentive mind. As Tilak said, there are very good comments. It means that you enjoy the Dhamma talk in a spiritual sense, and I think you benefited from it. So that's mean that we have wholesome thoughts in our mind, which we say merits, and it is time for us to share these merits. By delivering this Dhamma sermon, I accumulated merits because I'm happy and I feel I'm thrilled with it. I'm concentrated. So with that merits, I wish you, may you all be well, happy and peaceful. If there is anyone who sponsored this sermon, may they be well, happy and peaceful. The monks at the vihara, the committee who worked so hard to make the vihara a beautiful place, or should be credited with these merits. May they be well, happy, and peaceful. May they find their way to peace and happiness sooner than later. Especially Tilak, who invited me to have this Dhamma sermon. May you and your wife and your family members be well, happy, and peaceful. Most importantly, you who listen to the Dhamma sermon with so much respect for the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. May you be well, happy, and peaceful. May you find not only one way, not only 5 ways to overcome negative emotion. There are many ways there are explaining Dhamma, and may you be able to learn these techniques and find the ways to take it out and find your own self enlightenment in this very life. With this wholesome thought, I wish you blessings. And next, we share the merits with departed relatives and also divine beings. Those who passed away from your families, including venerable monks who made the vihara into this state, and also your friends and relatives. May they receive these blessings. May they be in nirvana soon. With this wholesome thought, I'm going to recite the stanza. Idamme nyati nang hotu sukita huntu nyatayo. Idang me nyati nang hotu sukita huntu nyatayo. Idang me nyati nang hotu sukita huntu nyatayo. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Next, the divine beings who are righteous and would like to listen to the Dhamma. May they be well, happy, and peaceful. May they practice the Dhamma in their divine state to make their life cycle end by attaining full enlightenment. With this wholesome thought, I'm going to recite the stanza, and you too keep your thoughts sharing these merits with the divine beings. Ittavatac amhihi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodangtu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe bhuta anumodangtu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe satta anumodangtu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. In conclusion, I wish you blessings. May you be able to practice the noble path for your peace and happiness, including Tilak and his family and all members of the Dayaka Sabha and venerable monks and those listeners through Facebook, Mahavihara Facebook, and all living beings in this world. May you all be well, happy, and peaceful. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Abhivadana silissa niccang vaddapachayino chattaro dhamma vaddhanti ayuvanno sukhang balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevacha ato nibbana sampatti minate samijjatu.
Thank you, Bhante. Thank you for this excellent sharing. For those of you who enjoyed and benefited from this evening's Dhamma sharing with Bhante Jinananda, don't forget Bhante will be with us next Friday, also to talk on a very interesting subject. It's called the shortcut to Nirvana. I think many people would like to know how to do a shortcut to get to Nirvana. Bhante will be talking about this, and he will also be talking about the Satipatthana Sutta. So please join us next Friday. I think it's the 9th of April for this wonderful sharing with Bhante Jinananda. So with that, we've come to the end of this evening Dhamma sharing. On behalf of the Committee of Management and the monks of the Buddhist Mahavihara, we'd like to take this opportunity to thank Bhante Jinananda for taking time off from his busy schedule this morning in Ottawa, and also to our sponsors and also to all our listeners here this evening, and those who will be following with us later from Facebook. Thank you for joining us, and have a pleasant evening, one and all. Sadhu.